Husker fans, Sam McKewon along with Jimmy Watkins for the Pick Six Podcast Spring Football Position Preview. We move to the defense, and the defensive line is where we begin. A quick note here. We're going to talk specifically about the defensive linemen, the nose tackle and the defensive ends. We're going to keep the outside linebackers to a different conversation with the linebackers, and we'll kind of explain why we're going to do that when we get there. Well, this group, when they came to Nebraska, when Eric Chinander came in 2018, they ran something much closer to a true 3-4. They put 3 defensive linemen out there. They put 4 linebackers out there, and it was sort of a true nose and end-to-end, and that didn't always work. They had the Davis twins. They had Darian Daniels. They recently had Damian Daniels. Ben Stille played for 4 years. Good for him. DeAndre Thomas as well. I gave this group, over the course of 4 years, a grade of a C. They got a hell of a lot better in the last 2 years. The first 2 years, rough, right? Everybody who watched Nebraska in 2018 remembers that 2018 Michigan game. Woo, not good. Husker fans remember that 2018 Wisconsin game. Not good. Rough stuff to watch. Iowa ran roughshod. So Nebraska's defensive line over time got better and better and better and better to the point where it could kind of hold its own. Now, they kind of changed their scheme a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the linebackers conversation. But they've got a lot of transition. But first we'll talk about, what they've done over the first 4 years, the players that stood out, and, of course, the guys that have left, Daniels, Stille, and Thomas, had a lot to do with their performance last year.
C feels right because what have they done best is probably hold blocks, right? Like the rush defense. Their role in the rush defense has been clogging up holes, letting the linebackers clean guys up, and they've gone from ranking 96, allowing 5.5 yards per carry, then up to 4.82, up to 4.17, 4.16, where they were last year.
Pretty darn good.
But we're still looking for the next step. Are we going to change a game? Are we going to cause turnovers? Are we going to score touchdowns? Are we going to even what Aaron Donald did in the Super Bowl on the last play of the Super Bowl, just force an incompletion. Maybe it goes down a pressure or a hurry, but something you do that impacts the play. You change the game. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Ben Stille, good developmental story. Damian Daniels, good developmental story.
Made one or two big plays a game.
Yeah.
Daniels.
Yeah.
They lost him.
Yeah, all good stuff, all good plays, but the next step. We're looking for that next step. They've ranked the bottom 80 in sack rates since they've been here and that's partially with the outside linebackers. It gets blurry there, but there's still some work to go. They need to make the next step forward.
It's questionable that they will. I mean, we have to be honest about that. They've got some returners. Ty Robinson and Casey Rogers are the first 2 names you think of. Robinson is a big dude, right? He's kind of an end kind of guy. Rogers also an end, not quite as big as Robinson. Both hard workers. Rogers has got a great motor. See, those are the first 2 names you think of. And then it becomes, they're going to have guys step up. At this point, Jordan Riley, he transferred. He went to Oregon to play for Tony Tuioti. DeAndre Thomas gone, Damian Daniels gone, Ben Stille gone. So who steps up? Well, that's the question mark that you got to look at. First, you're going to look at Nash Hutmaker, the Chamberlain, South Dakota wrestling standout who's been kind of percolating for 3 years, and this is his sort of breakout spring. He's got to bring it. Marquise Black plays that same position. Is he going to bring it this spring? Ruquan Buckley, maybe the best recruit that Tony Tuioti had before he left for Oregon and gave the job kind of to Mike Dawson. He's an interesting guy. I think he's got the physical tools. We'll see if he turns it on in his redshirt freshman season. Jalen Weaver is a giant. He might be the biggest player on the team. 6'8", 3-something. We don't know exactly. But, has he shaped his body and can he play on the field consistently? That's a question. Masai Newsom, Tate Wildeman's been hurt a lot. There's a lot of question marks there. Let's be honest. I mean, there's a lot of guys in there. We're just not sure what's going to happen. And so it becomes a question of how many of these guys can you play at once? When you're down at the goal line, who's the third lineman?
I'm watching a spot in spring practice. It's the nose tackle. It's who's gonna get in the middle and eat up that space that's gonna allow Luke Reimer, Nick Henrich to come in and make the plays the way they did. That was Damian Daniels last year. We don't know who it's gonna be. And the other thing, like Sam said, this is a rotational position. It's 6 or 7 guys to play 4 spots per game. All these guys are gonna when I talk 6 or 7, that's how many guys are gonna be playing in there. So it's not just we found 4 starters. It's we found 3 more guys that we feel comfortable playing. There's a lot of names that are going to be cycled through this spring.
Transfer. They're going to go get a transfer, but that transfer is not going to be here in the spring. And we call this the spring position preview. So look, they're going to go out and get 1 or 2 guys to add to the mix here sometime in the summer. that are probably going to be ahead of some of the guys that are going to be in the spring. But, you know, the names to watch, I think, in the spring, not only the two main ones, but watch Hutmaker, watch Buckley. If Wildeman's healthy, watch him and watch Messiah Newsom. I think those are the guys to watch closely because it's kind of put up or shut up time for guys like Wildeman and Newsom. They've been in the program for quite a while, and we'll see what they're able to do. Ultimately, I think they're only going to play 2 or 3 defensive linemen at a time, and it may often just be 2 unless they get just a great transfer, which is always possible, but at this point has not happened. All right, for Jimmy Watkins, I'm Sam McKewon. That is our position preview for the defensive line.